My name is Lauren Rose Keller. I am an American attorney registered to practice in California and Nevada, and I recently passed the QLTS assessments on my first try. The background of my career so far is that I have an undergraduate degree and a law degree from the University of California, Hastings in San Francisco. I passed the California and Nevada bar exams, and I practiced for about a year and a half before moving to Italy. Since moving here, I've done a master's program and started working in a large law firm based in Turin, mostly working with intellectual property and commercial agreements for international clients. I decided to take the QLTS assessments to become a solicitor for a number of reasons. First of all, coming to live and work in Europe, I wanted a European qualification to improve my marketability and increase the services that I could offer to firms and clients here. It's also quite helpful for our Italian clients, as I already help them with matters in the US. But to have a UK solicitor in-house is quite valuable for smaller questions and helping them to bridge the cultural gap that comes up when working with the laws of a different country. When I decided to take the QLTS exams, I knew immediately that I wanted to take a preparation course because I had very little information about the framework of the exams and the content that I would be required to learn. So I was looking for some help with preparing while I was working at the same time. I decided on the QLTS School after looking at the options that were available to me, and I wanted a program that offered the most framework possible, and it appeared to me quite quickly that QLTS School would be the best option. My experience studying with the QLTS School was overall very positive. For both parts of the exam, I found that the tools that were made available to me, both online and as well as the outlines that were provided and the instructors that are on call, were all instrumental for me in organizing myself and my study time and passing the exams. I found various aspects of the programs were useful for each part of the exam. For the multiple choice exam, I relied heavily on the sample exams that were available on the QLTS website. I think I did all of those exams twice and found them to be absolutely crucial in preparing myself for the multiple choice part. For the second part of the exam, I found that the tutor help was quite important, both in terms of taking the practice assessments along with my tutor and having the grading available, as well as the tutor setting out an outline for my study plan, taking into consideration my working obligations. In terms of the amount of time I had to study, I didn't have a lot of time outside of work. I was working full-time almost the entire time I was studying for the exams. For part one, I studied only on weekends for about 2 months, so approximately 10 hours a week, maybe 15, and then I took the week off before the exam to study full-time. For that part, I allocated the time almost evenly between reviewing the outlines and doing the practice exams online, which were really instrumental for me in preparing to respond to that breadth of information that you need to know for the first part. For the second part of the exam, for the OSCE, I studied for about 4.5 months. And for this, realizing that it would be more intensive, I took 1 day off of work a week for those months. And I also studied weekends, so likely 15 to 20 hours per week. I approached that exam by taking each subject matter in turn. I would read the book and then do the assessment with my tutor at the end. Moving forward, I would also try once a month to review the prior subjects. But in sum, I did it one subject at a time, sort of increasing the number of assessments I did towards the exam itself. And then again, I took the entire week before the exam to study full-time. I was quite fortunate in that my firm gave me a lot of support while I prepared for the exams, even though I wasn't able to take off much time without falling behind, and I'm sure a lot of attorneys working full-time can relate. They were quite flexible when I needed to take a few extra days here and there, or in taking the time to study right before the exams and to go up to London. I felt particularly fortunate that for the second exam, which required a more intensive preparation, they did allow me to take a day off a week, and were not only supportive in giving me that time, but also helping me to arrange my obligations in a way that would make studying for the exam and preparing in the correct way possible. In terms of preparedness for the exams, my experience for the first and second were a bit different. For the first exam, I felt as though I had a good chance of passing, but I wasn't 100% sure, and this was no doubt due to my own allocation of time going into it. Luckily, the QLTS course helped me prepare to the point where I was able to pass it in the short time I had, but any attorney that's gone through bar exams knows that you want to be able to give as much time as you need to study, and I simply didn't have that luxury for the first exam. For the second, instead, I made sure to organize in advance to take the time I needed to study on my own and with my tutor. And I felt quite confident going into the exam, which I found to be a huge benefit, since the second part, the OSCE exam, is quite intensive. My roles and responsibilities in my firm haven't changed significantly yet, as I just passed the assessments recently, and I'm currently in the process of being admitted to the role. Although I do expect this to change once I am admitted, as I'll also be able to register as a foreign lawyer practicing in Italy, which will allow me additional leeway and abilities and services that I can provide to my clients. I believe the QLTS will help me immensely in my career and in the legal market, both in Italy and in Europe. As an American attorney moving abroad, there are certainly a good number of opportunities. However, the scope of the practice we can do is limited without becoming a European practicing attorney as well. Therefore, taking the QLTS and becoming a solicitor of England and Wales will assist me both in my own personal marketability in the legal market, but also in terms of working as an attorney in a firm and offering more services to clients. Looking back, for me personally, taking preparation courses for both the multiple choice and the OSCE portions of the exam was absolutely crucial. I'm sure it's possible to do it without taking a course, but as somebody who is a professional working full-time in a new legal market, I relied on the guidance in terms of both the materials to study and the practical preparation for the exams, especially for the OSCE, as while it is practice-based, it's a little different from the work we do every day. I would certainly encourage anyone moving into the European market and considering taking the QLTS exam to go ahead and take it, especially Americans who are considering a move into Europe or into the UK. It is a great boost for one's marketability and ability to practice. And I would say that taking the exams is overall a really good step for one's legal career moving into Europe. I would recommend, given the time to plan it out, that a person leave a good amount of time for studying. I would say 4 to 5 months for each exam, in order to make sure that they understand the material completely and have a chance to familiarize themselves with the practical aspects of the exam. I would recommend taking the QLTS overall to candidates like myself. That would be American attorneys who are either considering a move into the European market or who are already here and looking to expand their practice base. I think today it's important for a modern lawyer to have the skills that allow them to work outside of their home jurisdiction. it is a huge benefit for clients if you can assist them moving into new markets and working with new commercial partners in different parts of the world. So I would recommend that attorneys who want to assist these clients, especially in a commercial realm, consider becoming an attorney of a different jurisdiction.